alone, I'm alright. It's so cold outside. I'm alone, I'm alright. It's so cold outside. I'm alone, I'm alone. It's so cold outside.
The sun was shining brightly through the windows, casting a warm glow on the beautifully decorated living room. You stood in the center of the room, your arms crossed tightly across your chest, a frown edge on your face. Your husband, Jimin, stood at the opposite end of the room, his brows frowned, and his voice filled with frustration. I can't believe you're making such a big deal out of this, Vian. Jimin said, his voice filled with irritation. It's just a small argument. We'll sort it out later. Your eyes flashed with anger. A small argument? You think dismissing our problems is going to make them go away? We can't just pretend like everything is fine when it's not. The tension in the room was palpable as both of you stood on ground, neither willing to back down. Little did you know that your argument was about to become even more complicated. The doorbell rang, and you exchanged a worried glance. Oh no, you muttered under your breath. My parents are here. Jimin's eyes widened in alarm. Your parents? Now? But we're in the middle of this mess. You sighed, trying to regain your composure. I know, Jimin, but they've been looking forward to this visit for weeks. We can't let them see us like this. Carefully, you both straightened your clothes and put on your best smiles. You walked to the front door hand in hand, taking deep breaths to calm your racing hearts. Opening the door, you were greeted by the sight of your parents smiling expectantly. Mom, Dad, it's so good to see you, you said, forcing a cheerful tone as you hugged your parents tightly. Your mom hugged you back, her eyes filled with concern. Everything okay, sweetheart? You look a little tense. You glanced at Jimin, who stood by your side, his smile strained. Oh, it's nothing, Mom, just a small disagreement. We'll sort it out. Your dad raised an eyebrow, but he chose not to further. Alright, if you say so, we're just happy to be here and spend time with you both. As you settled into the living room, the conversation flowed, but the underlying tension was impossible to ignore. You and Jimin exchanged glances, silently communicating your need to put on a united front for the sake of your parents. Over the course of the evening, you laughed, shared stories, and did your best to distract yourselves from the unresolved argument. But as the night wore on, the weight of your unspoken words grew heavier. After bidding your parents good night, you closed the bedroom door behind you, sighing heavily. You lean against the door, feeling the exhaustion seep into your bones. Jimin entered the room, his face etched with regret. Ryan, we can't keep avoiding this, he said softly, his voice filled with remorse. We need to talk about what happened. You turned to face him, your eyes filled with sadness. I know, Jimin. I didn't want to ruin their visit. They were so excited to come here, and I didn't want them to feel the tension between us. But you're right. We can't keep avoiding it. Let's talk. Both of you settled onto the edge of your bed, facing each other. The room was filled with a heavy silence as you both gathered your thoughts, unsure of where to begin. I'm sorry, Ryan. Jimin finally spoke, his voice filled with sincerity. I didn't mean to dismiss our argument earlier. I know it's important to address our problems and find a resolution. You nodded, your eyes glistening with unshed tears. It hurt me when you brushed it off, Jimin. I felt like my feelings didn't matter to you. We're a team, and we should face our challenges together. Jimin reached out and gently took your hand in his touch offering comfort and reassurance. You're right, Ryan. I should have been more understanding. I never want you to feel like your feelings don't matter to me because they do. You mean everything to me. Your voice trembled as you spoke. You're shining through. I love you, Jimin, but we have to communicate better. We can't let our disagreements and grow into something bigger. Jimin squeezed your hand, his gaze filled with determination. I love you too, Ryan. From now on, let's promise to listen to each other, to really hear what the other person is saying. We'll work through this together. A sense of relief washed over you as you realized you both were on the same page, ready to face your problems head on. You spent the rest of the night opening up to each other, sharing your fears, hopes, and dreams. The walls between both of you began to crumble, replaced by an even deeper connection. Over the following days, you and Jimin made a conscious effort to communicate openly and honestly. You attend couples therapy sessions to learn effective communication techniques and strengthen your bond. Slowly but surely, you began to rebuild the trust that had been shaken during your argument. As you worked on your relationship, you and Jimin discovered new depth to your love. You realized that arguments were a natural part of any marriage, but what truly mattered was how you handled them. Both of you learned to approach disagreements with patience, empathy, and a genuine desire to find common ground. Your efforts did not go unnoticed by your parents. One evening, as you sat together for dinner, your mom spoke up, her eyes filled with pride. You know why, Jimin? Your ability to face challenges together is truly inspiring. We've seen how you've grown, and it's clear that your love is strong. Your dad nodded in agreement, a smile tugging at the corners of his mouth. We all have arguments, but it's how we handle them that defines our relationships. You two have come a long way. You and Jimin exchanged a glance, gratitude shining in your eyes. You knew that your journey wasn't over, that you would still face obstacles along the way, but you were confident in your commitment to each other. With newfound strength and a deeper understanding of each other, you and Jimin found ahead, your love stronger than ever before. And as you embraced the challenges that lay ahead, you did so with open hearts, knowing that your love could weather any storm. Love is not the absence of conflict, but the courage to face it, the strength to resolve it, and the commitment to grow through it together.
Always wonderful.